Bankruptcy is one of the highest intent searches in all of law. Nobody types best bankruptcy attorney to pass the time. They're in financial pain, they're overwhelmed, maybe embarrassed, and they need a way out fast. The query is specific, the need is immediate, and the machine knows it. So when someone opens a tool like ChatGPT and asks, AI generates a recommendation right then in the overwhelmed moment. And it leans towards the firms that look the most established and the easiest to validate. Here's the catch: a lot of firms with serious bankruptcy experience get passed over for thinner competitors simply because they don't look the part to the machine. I'm Marc Apple. I'm the founder and partner of Forward Push Law Firm Marketing, and we just wrapped up a month mapping which firms break through in AI search, and bankruptcy showed very strong direct firm to site visibility. Now, stick with me because I'm going to show you the exact reason good bankruptcy firms get skipped and how to fix it. So, for 20 years now, getting found meant ranking on Google, 10 blue links, and the searcher did the picking. You could sit maybe fourth or fifth on the page and still get the call because people scrolled, they compared, and they made up their own mind. The AI tools don't work that way. Ask one for the best bankruptcy lawyer in town, and it hands back three names and a reason for each. There is no page two, and there's no list of 10 to scan. You're either in the answer or you're nowhere to be found. And I can tell you, people trust the pick. A scared person who gets handed three names doesn't go digging for a fourth. They start dialing the ones the machine just vouched for. And for bankruptcy, that shift cuts deep because the person asking is overwhelmed and needs to pick someone fast, and the machine hands them the firm that looks the most established. Now, don't take my word for any of this. Do this with me right now. Pause the video even if you need to. Open ChatGPT. Type in the way your client would. Best bankruptcy lawyer in your city. Your actual city. Hit go and read the names. Now open another large language model. Same question. Read those names too. The two lists will barely match. Now try it in Gemini, and what we found a lot of the times, it's going to name nobody. It's just going to give you like a little speech about how to choose a good attorney. Now, look at the reasons each tool gives. Most likely, it's recognized by SuperLawyer, listed on Justia. Notice what it almost never says. It never says, I read their website and they seem great. The reasons come from somewhere else. Hold that thought because it turns out to be the whole key. And then this is the search that stings. Type the name of the bankruptcy firm in your market that keeps beating you on cases you should win. Read what the machine says about them. That gap right there on your own screen is what this whole video is about. Here's what the research showed us for bankruptcy. Very strong, direct, firm-to-site visibility when the tools showed their sources. Justia and SuperLawyers were major source leaders. Best law firms, BCG Search, and the category-specific firm sites also showed up regularly. What that should tell you is quite simple. Bankruptcy recommendations reward firms that combine focused practice clarity with strong authority reinforcement. It's not one or the other. It has to be both. So this is not a category where looking broad helps. Looking credible, relevant, and easy to verify is the whole game. Here's the problem, and I can tell you that it's costing good firms real clients. We looked at a firm with strong bankruptcy experience, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, business filings, a real track record, but their site was built like a general practice with bankruptcy buried under all the other services. Their attorney bio pages mentioned it in passing. So the machine had no reason to actually call them a bankruptcy firm. They weren't getting recommended, and their competitors with weaker track records, but clearer, more focused digital footprints, they were. That's the whole problem in one story. The experience was real, the signal was buried, and the machine recommends the signal, not the experience. Now, I'm going to say something most agencies will probably never say to your face. Being named is not the same as being the best. This is about who the machine mentions, not who wins cases. A firm with strong, consistent profiles will out-appear a better firm the machine simply can't see. So if a weaker bankruptcy competitor keeps coming up while you don't, hear me clearly on this. They didn't outlawyer you, they got recognized. And that part you can fix. I'll tell you the moment that this got really personal for me. We had a client, good firm, sharp lawyer, the kind of person you actually want in your corner if your life fell apart. And a firm across town with worse reviews kept pulling cases he should have won. So I ran the searches, and the answer was sitting right there. The other firm had complete, consistent profiles on every directory the machine trusts. My client, well, had a super lawyers page, 3 years stale, and a profile listing a practice area he dropped years ago. The machine wasn't judging who was the better attorney because it can't do that. It was reading who turned in their homework. That should sting a little. Good. Let it, because the boring work he skipped is the exact work you can go do this week. And I know who I'm talking to. A lot of you have probably been burned. You hired a marketing agency that promised page one and handed you a report full of words that never turned into a single phone call. You've sat through a second round of marketing interviews and walked out thinking they're all the same. So let me be straight about what this is. This is not me selling you a bigger SEO package. This is me telling you the front page of the internet has moved, and you can check every word of it yourself tonight for free. You don't have to trust me. You just have to trust your own screens. And while we're being honest, let me tell you what fixing this will not do, because I'm not here to sell you a fantasy. It will not turn a weak firm into a stronger one. If your reviews are bad because your service is bad, this won't save you. If you don't return calls, no amount of profile work fixes that. This makes a good bankruptcy firm findable. It does nothing for a bad one. And I'd rather you hear that from me now than feel cheated later. So here's the solution, and none of it's a gimmick. Strong bankruptcy-specific site architecture is what makes you findable. Attorney pages that make the practice obvious, not a footnote under other services, makes you findable. Third-party authority signals that confirm the positioning and useful answer-first content for the questions overwhelmed clients actually ask, like what does bankruptcy cost? How long does it take? Will I lose my house? You need those on your website. Plus, a consistent entity footprint across every place the machine looks so the signals never contradict each other. Bankruptcy doesn't need gimmicks. It needs a firm that looks as established as it actually is. Close that gap, and the machine starts handing your name to the people who need you most. And here's what I think happens next. These tools learn by repetition. Every month, your name sits in the sources they trust, the pattern hardens, and the harder it gets for anyone to knock you out of the top spot for bankruptcy work in your market. And it's worse than just waiting, because while you sit there, the competitor down the street who's paying attention is filling in profiles, they're stacking up reviews, and they're teaching the machine to say their name first. The gap that you're looking at today is the smallest it's ever going to be. Look, I made this whole study free for a reason. The full breakdown is up on our website right now, and I'll leave the link in the description below. Go read it. Run the 4 searches for your own practice in your own city. Look at your own scoreboard. You do not need us to do any of that for you. And if you look at the gap and you decide you don't want to spend the next year watching a worse firm get named first in your market that you should own, that's when you call us. 877-593-2244 or our website's forwardpush.com. Look, we only work with firms serious about growth, but no pressure tonight, because here's the only thing that actually matters once this camera shuts off. Right now, someone is going to ask one of those tools for the best bankruptcy lawyer in their town. A few names are going to appear right away, and the only question worth asking is whether yours is one of them.